Sone Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Jinendra, Jai Swami Narayan, Sai Ram, and good evening to you all. I hope everybody is in good health like me, as always. So, good evening, everyone, and a very warm welcome to all of you joining us for today's GAA London Community Webinar. So, we're delighted to have once again our important person and a subject essential guide to scam awareness. In today's world, financial scams are becoming increasingly sophisticated, and even the most intelligent, well informed people can fall victims. This session is designed to help us stay alert, recognize the warning signs, and take simple but powerful steps to protect ourselves and our loved ones. So, we are truly honored to welcome our distinguished guest speaker, Mrs. Rasmita Gohil. With nearly 40 years of experience, as I mentioned it last week, in the banking and financial sector, having served at HSBC, RBS, and Moody's Analytics. So Raz brings unparalleled expertise and deep insight into fraud preventions. So let's just invite Raz. We have a lot to collect today, and hopefully pick up quite a lot more goodies. Raz, all yours.
Okay, I'm going to share my screen again. Can everybody see the screen?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, let's get this show on the road. She says, share. Right. Always got when you're dealing with so many different. There we go. Right. Okay. Hello, everybody. I can't, to be honest, I can't remember where we left off, but I've got a funny feeling that we left off at this. Was this?
I think, Raz, I think it's a good idea if we can just go back and pick up little bits and pieces as a reminder what happens and what you can come across.
Okay.
That will be a good idea.
Okay. All right. Fine. But conscious of time, and we don't want to kind of lose that. So I will. I think some of you might have been on this already. Correct?
Yeah. It doesn't matter. We don't have to rush. We can always come back next week.
Okay. All right. Okay. So let me just I won't go through all of this because this is, and some of you people that haven't been on, welcome. And some of this will be, I'll cover it as I go in the slides that we didn't cover last week. But just to, I don't need to cover this. I think, Banath, thank you very much for that kind introduction. Yeah, I go across a lot of skill sets, as you can see from there. And always happy to answer questions on any of the stuff that you think, oh, I've been involved with this. How can you help? The key thing about this, the whole idea of this scamming webinar is to not just arm you with knowledge, but to give you the confidence to recognize. I was watching a program yesterday with Atul, my husband, and the one thing that I get so upset when I see these people being scammed. And yesterday, the program, I do highly recommend you watch it. It's called Scam Interceptors. And yesterday it was a Sikh couple, based in Southall, and the way the scammers had managed to get hold onto their phone, and unwittingly they took, they said, look, you need to, your internet's not working, therefore your everything has gone down. You need to use your phone to take pictures of your credit cards because it's your credit cards that have been compromised. That was all rubbish, but unfortunately they didn't know, so they took photos of the credit cards on their phones, and then made them go, would you believe, to a supermarket to buy £1,200 worth of gift cards. And so that, using information. Fortunately, and this is why I say do watch this, they were stopped because they'd managed to get hold of the supermarket managers and what have to say, look, this is happening. It's a scam. They work for the BBC. They're going to be coming there to help and help to stop this scam going ahead. And they did stop it. But the pressure that this couple were put under, and the emotional stress was absolutely amazing. I was getting so annoyed. And I'm thinking it's something so simple they don't even realize, and they think, oh yeah, they don't know technology, so they must be right. And I can't say enough. Don't just question. Don't do it. If it's anything is wrong, speak to a family member or a relative and say, I've had this phone call saying my internet is not working or this not working. Can you just check? Right? Don't believe anybody that's a stranger, anybody. But anyway, let's move on. We're not going to do the questions, but just to give you an idea, these are the stats. It's a 1.2 billion pounds worth of money is lost to fraud annually. Okay. And whilst the 1,100 doesn't sound a lot per victim, that is a lot for someone, especially, if you're on a pension or, you're not working or whatever the case may be, that's a lot. But let me just very quickly go through um, these. So, Banna, tell me if I'm going too fast, because I know this is something we've already covered. Or any of you, if you feel that you know this enough, tell me to move on. I've not got a problem with that at all. But those of you that didn't cover this, but do you all remember what I meant by the psychology of deception and cognitive biases exploited? Do you all remember that? Either give me a thumbs up or talk to me or whatever the case may be. Do you all remember what we meant by this?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so I can move on from this, yes?
Yeah.
Fine. Okay, right. Why are senior citizens targeted? We know this. And just to go over it, they assume that senior citizens have got a lot of property, a lot of savings, etc., and they're more trusting and polite. And this is what happened yesterday. Program that Atul and I were watching. It is absolutely, complete trust. The husband couldn't even speak English. He was speaking in Hindi, and the wife was trying to translate, and you could see the stress. And it's like they just think, yeah, we'll believe them. Why would you get £1,200 worth of gift cards? Because your internet is down. They couldn't make that connection, but you and I could. You could think, well, where's the connection in buying £1,200 worth of gift cards from a supermarket to my internet being down? Why would that be? So those are the simple questions that you think that doesn't make sense. But if it doesn't make sense, it probably won't make sense, and question it. But a lot of it may have memory, not loss of memory as such, but forgetfulness, general forgetfulness. And even at my age, I forget certain things. I think, oh, did I really do that? But they're, less familiar with modern technology, which is what happened on this thing. But so the one thing that, I say, being scammed is not your fault. It's a criminal offense. It is a criminal offense. And whatever the case is, even if you think you feel silly going to the police, which these couple did, fortunately, they managed to close that centre down. Would you believe? I mean, they tell the story after a period of time, because this happens a while ago. But if you don't trust it, go to the police, go and get that confidence and get that confirmation that you're not wrong. What you thought was not wrong. Universal red flags. Again, I don't want to go through this so much in detail because I know we went through it before, but any unsolicited contact claiming urgent action is needed, that's a red flag. Anything urgent, right? Nothing can be that urgent. So if it is, you don't know who it's from, you've never spoken to them before, they might claim that they're from a call center and what have you, don't believe it. Because if it is something that needs urgent action, they'll call you back. I've said this before, or they'll send you a letter, they'll do something, but they will repeatedly call you if they want to get hold of you. You have to be strong and ignore that phone call, right? Because they will try and try again until they get you back on the phone. These scammers won't let go, right? They will carry on until they think they've got you, and they almost got this couple. They'll always ask for requests, for personal financial information up front. Nobody ever asks for that information up front. They will talk to you in person, but they will never ask for this information. Okay. And there's always this act now, you've got to do it now, because if you don't do it now, the offer's gone. I think last week We talked about someone saying that, they managed that there was an offer for toilet rolls for such a low price, and ended up being your credit card's not being accepted, or saying this credit card is wrong. And what they do is they keep a log of all the credit cards that you've entered. The key thing is, and whilst we understand that English may not be the first language for some of us, it's some of it will be obvious, the grammar, the spelling, especially if it's an official communication. And if it doesn't make sense, then just ignore it. And that's my thing is, just don't click on anything. If you get any, even sometimes you get a letter, look at the letter, because sometimes the letters will have logos on, and you'll know any logo that you get, even though it's AI technology, it will be very clear. Anything that's a scam will be blurred. And you also, the way it's written, the font, which is the size of the letter, the lettering, all of that. It's something that you would need to look into a bit deeper. And if I was there in person, I'd kind of show you examples. Requests for unusual payment methods, gift cards, like I mentioned. Just the program we saw yesterday was about gift cards. Why would you want a gift card? Too good to be true. Too good to be true. It probably is. And then this is the emotional manipulation. The fear, the greed, the sympathy. They play on your mind. They play on your emotions. And so don't be taken in. Is all I can say. I'm going to go through this quickly. This is about pensions, and it's get rich quick schemes don't exist, right? They just don't exist. So anybody that tells you, and I think we talked about this last week as well, that someone said, I think it was a Rishi Sunak AI generated person that had come on and said, this scheme is good. It's going to give you so much return. If it doesn't make sense, it probably isn't. And you can't get a rate of return on your investment that's higher than the norm. You just can't. I mean, coming from a financial background, it's not something that happens. Any financial advisor, a proper financial advisor, will say to you, there's always risks involved with higher returns, but you don't get returns at that certain percentage that they may say so. But there's always a pressure to invest immediately. No, I want to think about it. Always insist, I want to think about it. I want to think about, and even the genuine ones, I'll still say, I want to think about it. I need to talk to my family. I need to talk to my partner, my husband, my wife, my son, daughter, whatever the case may be. And cold calls are the ones like unsolicited. They'll just give you a call. Hi, I'm speaking from whatever investment company, pension company. I'd like to talk to you about pensions or investments. Put the phone down. Just put the phone down. Don't even entertain it. Even if it's genuine, don't entertain it. Okay. And the pension liberation schemes are these ones where you can get more out of your pension than you can actually. If it sounds too good to be true, it always is. And always seek advice from an independent financial advisor before investing everything, and check all their details and all their credentials. I talked about the sophisticated investment scam. So I'll just go through this very quickly. Sarah, a 45-year-old professional, received a LinkedIn message, right, from someone called James Parker. When you are asked to invest, or you don't get messages on a LinkedIn. These are not, they may contact you to say, can we have a chat? If it's genuine, they'd say, I'm from this, I'd like to have a chat with you, right? And then, because you can't, communicating on LinkedIn is not the norm. It's not professional. It is a professional social media site for businesses, but it's not something that you'd have a conversation about. So don't entertain it. This guy claimed to be from Goldman Sachs. Everybody knows it's a big investment bank. And his profile looked legitimate with 500 connections. Now, unless you know how to use LinkedIn, those 500 connections could be anyone. It could be family, it could be anything. Unless you click and know, and you have that premium LinkedIn program, you can't know who the connections are. So these connections could, just because they've got so many connections, doesn't make them popular, doesn't make them genuine. Ignore how many connections they have. Okay. And just to give you an idea, I mean, this guy had 500 plus connections. I've been in the industry 40 odd years. I know LinkedIn didn't come out until about 30 odd years ago. And I've got about 340, 350 connections, all professional connections. And I've been in the industry a long time. Yes, I pick and choose who I want to be connected with, because some people just want to connect with you to get onto the next ladder or use you to get wherever. But that just goes to show just the connections doesn't mean anything. The hook, he mentioned that he had an exclusive access to a pre-IPO. That's an independent public offering. That's what IPO stands for. And that's to buy shares this was in a major tech company before it goes public. That's illegal. Downright illegal, because you can't do that. You can't buy shares before they go public. That's called insider trading in a way. But unless you know that, you're not going to know any of that. You can't do that. You can't buy shares beforehand. Because then what would have happened is you buy shares at a lower price. And then when it becomes public, goes on the market, as so to speak, that everybody else can buy, the price goes up and you sell at a much higher rate. But that is not allowed, just to let you know. And this guy showed all these documents. None of them were genuine. He had fake news articles and professional website. This is difficult to identify and recognize. I get that. You won't know unless you can look at it thinking this doesn't make sense. Someone like me would scrutinize that more detail and think, hold on, this doesn't add up. And maybe everybody doesn't do that. But all I would say is don't get involved in any of these kind of sophisticated scams. The simple ones are the best. Don't do any of this kind of stuff is what I would say. The result provides references to satisfied clients. So he made up all these testimonials. He said it had to be done in 48 hours. Otherwise, the offer would go. He asked for initial 5,000 investment. That is the biggest red flag. So we decide, putting everything aside on the previous slide I put towards you for you to look at, the key red flag here is they want £5,000 as an initial investment. And you've got 48 hours to do it in. That's the biggest red flag. They want the money already without showing you any figures, without showing you what the market looks like, what the shares are, what they're looking like, what the company is. Without any of that, it's asked for a £5,000 investment. And it says it shows a fake trading platform with rising values. But you would not know that. So all I would say is don't do it. You will get caught into some of these. Don't get me wrong. People will try anything to get money. And the red flags, it was an unsolicited investment advice. There were pressure tactics. It was unregulated. So any pension, any financial advice that involves investment and pension has to be regulated by the regulatory body, which is the Financial Conduct Authority. Okay. Banna, I'm conscious there's a few, I think, is there a few messages on the chat? If you can just keep me, thank you, but not aware that it was far. Right, okay. If you can just keep me informed if there's any questions so that I can answer them, if that's okay. Oh, where's the gone? There we go. A request for immediate payment. Okay, they always want money straight away. Of course they do. Now, phone scams. Let me go through. The classic one is a tech support scam. And this is what happened on the scam interceptors yesterday. Your computer, well, similar to, your computer has a virus. Type in these details and check what has happened, right? Details they give you, which means they are going to get into your laptop. How do they know your computer has a virus? When something is wrong with your laptop, only you know there's something wrong with it because something doesn't work. You would need to make the phone call to wherever it could be Dell, it could be whoever your laptop is with, Mac, or whatever the case may be, right? Microsoft or Google. You would need to make the phone call to say your computer is not working. How would they know? So something simple as, how do you know my laptop isn't working? How do you know I've got a computer virus? So remember something like the logic. Don't type in any details anybody else gives you. Nothing at all. And obviously don't type in your passwords. Second one is a prize scam. I think we covered this. It's like, you've won a prize. Great. Can you pay this much for you to access your prize? And what they then do is the moment you've clicked and put in, they've got access to your bank account details on your phone. Okay. All it needs is a link. Is like, in order for that, do this, and then they'll ask you to start putting your bank details in. Tax scams, I did talk about this as well. HMRC, this is a new one, not a new one. It's fairly recent. It keeps changing what they're doing. An HMRC owes some money, wants to send you a refund. HMRC will never call you, number one. They never, ever call you. You have to call them, but they will never call you. If it's genuine that you are required a refund, they will send a check to you. They won't send you any money direct to your bank account. HMRC never ask for bank details. Okay, so just beware of that. Unless there's an arrangement where you're for a company, you're paying something, then you would have set up a standing order, but that would have been done via the bank. So be careful. If anybody rings you and say HMRC owes you money, by the way, if you give us your details, we'll put the money in. No, just don't do it. Your bank account, classic, your bank account has been compromised. How do they know? How do they know your bank account has been compromised? People don't check. I've worked in the banking industry, but I've worked in a bank for almost 38 years. I've worked actually in a bank behind the scenes. And you don't know if your bank account has been compromised at all. Only, they don't know. You will only know when some things are coming out of your account. You think, I don't recognize that. I don't recognize that. That's when you would ring up and make the call to the bank to say, I've noticed this on my account. Then the fraud department of the bank will get involved. But nobody knows that your bank account has been compromised, right? So don't fall for any of those. I know this is kind of thing I'm going through quickly for this because there's quite a few things that we'd covered last week. But I wanted to talk about this. I think this is where we left off last week. I'm just going through the where is there anything on there, Panna, that I need to answer?
No,
Am I
not
going
at all.
through? Right, okay. And I've spoken to these on the phone for about 20 minutes and they hang up as they feel. No, but Rumit, you say they hang up. No, you hang up. Don't wait for them to hang up. You just hang up. Okay, don't even take the calls. Right, a multi-stage phone scam. Stage one, they gather all the information. So what they say is that the victim will receive a call, any of you, us, from the bank's security department about suspicious activity. Now you do get these calls, right? So be careful. A genuine fraud, if there's something they've noticed, money coming out of the account regularly, that's not the norm for your transactions, then they may call you. If they say security department, they never say security department, ever. If they're going to call you, they say, we're ringing you from the fraud department. If you don't believe them, put the phone down and ring them back on the card that's on the number that's on the back of your card. If you turn your card round, there's a fraud number and there's a bank number, either of them. Right? They claim to be from the bank's security department. They never say security. It's the fraud department. Right? If it is genuine, if it is anyway genuine. But even then, question it. Right? What they'll do is they'll ask you questions and you say, yes, that's correct. They don't even know some of the answers, but they happen to might have done some search and found your details and they say, oh, this is this. This is your name. This is where you live. Don't say yes. Just say, how do you know? And don't confirm anything because that's the way they gather the information. Then they know that once they've got that information, they go into stage two. They start building the trust because by then they've known your name because you've probably given it or they know it from somewhere, the address and any recent transactions. Because the way they ask the questions is clever. They say, oh, did you happen to go into, so I might say, oh, did you happen to go into, Tesco's the other day and, bought some whatever. And you might not have been in Tesco's, but you might have been in Sainsbury's or you might have been in Asda and you say, no, but I was in Asda. Damn, they've then got your information. So they went into Asda. They don't know. They will say all these things in a way that you think, oh, how did they know? But they don't. They just check in. Then what they do is they'll give you what is known as a correct phone for the bank to ring up for verification. They say, oh, if you don't believe me, here's the number. Can you call back if you don't believe me? Never ring back on the number they give you. So yesterday's yesterday's program we were watching, what they did, it's silly. They'd given the number, say, you don't believe me, call back. And the person that they called back was sitting right next to this person. This was in India, unfortunately, I think it was Kolkata or somewhere. Um, and there was the both people were sitting next to each other. Okay. So don't use the same phone number they give you. Find a different phone, find the number that's on the back of your card or go through any of your paperwork you have, ring back. And there's no rush. Don't feel that you need to feel bad. I think, oh my God, I'm going to be scammed. I've got to ring them back immediately. No, take your time. It doesn't matter. Find the right number, then call back. They will use language that you think they know what they're talking about. They'll use banking terminology. Um, and so you think, oh, they must know what they're talking about. But remember, we all know certain banking technology without even realizing. You probably know some of the banking terminology. So don't be taken in by that language. And like I've said, it creates a sense of urgency. So they say, oh, your account's at risk, you need to do this. If your account is at risk, nothing's going to change that over, within the next 5, 10 minutes. So don't, take your time, think about it, get all the, do your own research in terms of find the right details that you feel you're comfortable with. Ring a family friend if you need to, or ring family. Okay. To say, look, this is what's happened. What do you think I should do? It's always best to ask someone else. The hook, the way they bring you in is they say, the account's been compromised. They say that a new card is being sent, but needs verification. Now, I know for a fact a card to be remade takes anything from 3 to 5 days. I know some of you've got your cards in 3 days, which is great, but it still takes 3 to 5 days. How do they know that anything's wrong with a card? How would they know that they're going to send you a new card? If a new card's been sent, they don't even tell you. Bank doesn't tell you the new card they don't ring you to tell you a new card is on its way. You can look online on your phone or you can look online on your laptop, and that will show you if a new card is being sent or not. Okay, so if they tell you a new card is being sent, you need to verify that's rubbish. That's complete false. You will get the new card with the instructions in, as you all probably know, with a letter. You either keep your PIN, you can change your PIN, whatever the case may be. But they sometimes ask you for your PIN just for security purposes. Never, ever give your PIN number, ever. And I can't say that strongly enough. Not to anyone. Don't give your PIN number to anyone. And the reason I say this is, for example, let's say you're probably elderly or what have you, and you can't remember your PIN number and you've given it to a family friend or family member. Just to let you know, now, whilst a lot of people do that, I always say, if you've got someone, get either, do something that they've got a separate card if you trust them enough. And you can only do that on a power of attorney. If you feel that that person is at risk, then get a power of attorney over it. And then you can get a separate card. The reason I say that if you give your PIN to anybody and something goes wrong, and let's say it's, you've given the PIN to your son or daughter, let's say, to say, look, if I need money, give it. What happens is if the bank know that you have given that PIN number to anyone else rather than yourself, you are not liable for any compensation. So because you have already compromised by giving your PIN out. So the bank will say, sorry, you chose to give your PIN to your son or daughter. They don't care about the fact that it could be it could be your children, whatever the case may be. The fact that you've given it out, you're breaching the rules of a card, giving a PIN out. So don't do it. Please don't give your PIN out to anybody. Try and remember it however way you want to remember it, but don't give your PIN out. Because should anything happen in it, it may not be your family that do anything wrong. It may be someone else. But the fact that you might say, oh, I gave it to my son or daughter or my wife or husband or whatever the case may be, because I can't remember it, then you are not, then they won't give you any money back because you've given the number. So please don't. I mean, I have this issue with my mom, and I have, I've told her, if you want, I will take you to the bank to get the money out. And you can, but you don't give your PIN to anybody. Not that she can remember it anyway, but and I said, and you shouldn't tell any of us. And she hasn't. She's quite smart. She hasn't told us, but she needs any money, we take her to the bank, and she draws out the money. And bearing in mind, I come from that industry, and I my own mom, I won't have told her you don't give it to anybody, and she understands that. My dad was quite on the ball anyway. And then the sting, when the victim calls the official number, it's the scammer's accomplice, the person that's working with him that answers. Just like I said, yesterday's program, the two people sit next to each other. They confirm the security breach. They yes, yes, absolutely. And then they request additional verification and they get more information out of you. And then they gain full access to the account. Now, yesterday, the worrying thing, and I don't want to frighten any of you, but you do need to be aware of this. So yesterday, when this scam was going on with this couple, and they were at the supermarket buying the gift cards, the scammer had said, because the wife that could understand English and speak, he said, "Look, I don't understand what needs to be done, and I'm not sure I'm being scammed." Because what happened, the BBC, the scam interceptors, the people from the program who were trying to stop the scam, had said, "You are being scammed." But they are so confused, they didn't know who to believe, the scammer or the real people at BBC who were trying to stop the scam. And what this scammer did is got a hold of a friend, or whatever the case, an accomplice who was dressed in a police uniform, came into outside the supermarket, said to the couple, "Wait outside the supermarket. And if you don't believe us, there's a policeman waiting. You can tell him the whole story." The policeman was a scammer. He was part of the group of scammers. And he said, "Yes, yes, what you're doing is right. What these people on the phone, they're telling you, you need to buy all these cards." And that's the unfortunate thing, because they saw a man in a police uniform. They didn't know. This is how clever these scammers are. Fortunately, the BBC people got there in time and stopped it. Obviously, the guy that was dressed as a policeman had disappeared, but they managed to save the money, and they didn't lose out the money. But this is the kind of thing that happens. This is how unsympathetic and uncaring these scammers are. They will do anything, right, to get your money. So please be aware. Don't be taken in by uniforms. Ask for identification. Always ask for identification. Check it. And if you don't believe it, ring the police station. Right? I know it's extra work, but what would you rather do? Do that extra work or lose your money? Okay? Is everybody okay with that? Before I move on, it's a lot of information, I know, but I'm trying to get just trying to save you all from being scammed, or any of your relatives or anybody. Please tell them about this. Don't believe anybody is what I say, right? Until you know you're sure, absolutely sure. So phone scams. If you receive a suspicious call, what should you do? Do not speak with them. Put the phone down immediately. If you feel at any point in time this doesn't make sense, put the phone down, because by staying on the phone, you're allowing them to ask you more questions, and without realizing, you're answering them. And yesterday, and we see this program every week. Yesterday's one, they were on the phone for almost 2 hours, I think, just under 2 hours, on and off 2 hours, trying to get this money out of them. Scammers won't give up. Put the phone down, don't answer it. Put it on silent if it's bothering you. Don't press any buttons, please. Even if it says opt out, even if it's the delete button, I said this last week, even if it's the escape button, whatever, just put the phone down and switch it off. If you can, if you know you can, then switch it off. Hold on a minute. There's a few messages, but now am I okay?
Yes, you're fine.
Okay,
You're
right.
fine. We can.
Do not confirm any personal details, not even your name. Somebody says, "Oh, can I speak to?" Don't say yes, or are you? If they say, "Are you?" just say, "Who's asking?" Just say, "Who's asking?" Don't give your name if you can help it. Try not to. And call back independently. This is the number on the back of the card that I would say. And report it to Action Fraud. Right. This is the number that you need to call. All right. Email and text scams. Digital dangers in your inbox. The warning signs. Urgent language. You get a title that say "Act now, limited time." Now this is very similar to your phone calls. But if they can't get you on the phone, they'll get you on your laptop. Okay, they'll get in the computer, what have you. Anything that says "Act now, limited time," please ignore. Just ignore it. There will be spelling and grammar mistakes without a doubt. Scammers aren't as clever as you think they are when it comes to the language. They're good at telling you and saying things that you want to hear, but when it comes to actual written things, they're not as clever. So just be careful of that. Generic greetings. If they know you, they'll say, dear Panna, dear Rasmita, or dear Mrs. Gohil, or dear, Mr. Palmer, or what have you. Dear customer is very generic. That means they don't know you and they're just sending you an email on the off chance you're going to respond. Okay. And it's an unrecognizable email address. If you don't recognize the email address at Gmail, at Outlook, or whatever the case may be, at Virgin Media, what have you, don't click on it. Right? Just ignore it. Just don't click on it. Now, what you can do is, I don't know how your laptops work. So sometimes you've got Google and sometimes you've got Outlook. It comes up with a little button on the right-hand side on both the Google and on your Outlook emails with a bin. It's like a little dustbin, right? Click on that, and that will delete that email, right? Don't press any delete button. Just press that button. That's an icon that's delete, that shows delete, and just delete it. And any unexpected attachments or links. If there are any attachments or any links, please don't click on them. Just ignore them. Don't do anything, because those are the ones that take you into some system that then worms their way into your details. I don't know if I told you about TFL and this lady who had was late for her, or got a message to say that her train was delayed. Did I mention that last week?
Yes, you did.
Yes, I did. Right. So I'm not going to go through again. So she just attached, she clicked on the link. Lo and behold, that was it. That's all it needed. But they don't do that. Request for passwords and bank details. I don't need to tell you. Don't ever do that. Don't ever give any passwords. Don't give any bank details. Why? If you feel right, you're going to ask the question. You're not going to put the phone down. So why do you need my password? Why do you need my bank details? And some clever people will turn around and give a completely wrong password and completely wrong bank detail, deliberately. And then they'll just go off the phone, because then what the scammers will know is that the fact that they've given the wrong details. They'll say, you've given the wrong details. They just doesn't make sense. Just say, well, that's all I have. Then they'll soon know that you're onto them. Okay. Online shopping scams. Right. Red flags for websites, for fake websites. Prices that seem too good to be true. Now, I know there are shopping online shops that will have good prices that are cheap. All I'm saying is that just check to make sure that it says it's I don't know, it's £5 for something, and then you click, you went to buy, and all of a sudden that £5 becomes £50, because for some reason within that system it's picked up, and they've managed to edit it, or they've managed to get more out of the account. So if the prices seem too good to be true, it probably is. Don't click on that. Don't click on it. No contact details or customer service, right? There won't be any contact details from any of these. If you try to find out more about, if you go on this online shopping, whatever the website might be, if you try to find the contact details, you won't find any, and there won't be any customer service. Now that is, now the I'm not aware of any marketing regulations because I'm not in that field, but common sense tells me that they have to provide contact details and a customer service. It has like about us, how to contact us, etc. If all of that's missing, don't go on the website, okay? Because they should have contact details, and make sure those contact details work. So use them, find out if that works, because I'm guaranteeing they won't even have the details. Only accept bank transfers or unusual payments, right? So these people will only accept bank transfers or unusual payments. So it's not pay by credit card. It'll be, oh, can you pay by a gift card, or can you pay by crypto, or and they only want bank to bank, because they've got the details that they will have then details of your bank account. They only accept that. If that's the case, don't buy anything. Please don't buy anything. Okay. It's a poor website design, and there's numerous spelling errors. Now, The general public, like you and me, I'm not techie, so poor website design. This is something that my husband would look at and say, look, this doesn't make sense. No, don't touch it with a barge pole. But there'll be spelling mistakes, things that you probably don't even realize until you scrutinize and think, oh, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't. But the design will be very simple. It won't, it won't be. You can look at a proper website and you think, oh wow, and then you'll come across a website that doesn't do much or say much. And sometimes you'll find if you look at the website carefully, there'll be things in on the corners, on the top right and the bottom, they're in different language, and it'll be a different language that'll be on there. And that's what kind of gives you the hold on a minute. I'm on a website that's supposed to be English or British, let's say, or American, and it's got a different language on it. So look at that, look out for that. And then no secure payment symbols like a padlock or a connection sign. I'm going to show you typically what when it is secure. Now, different browsers, like Chrome and Google and Firefox will have different signs. But just to give you an idea, so this, if you can see, right, an example domain, something like that. This is a classic. That shows you that it's secure. That doesn't show a padlock, but when you click on this, now I can't show you, I can't click on it and show you because I've tried to capture that so that you can see. When you click on that, it gives you the details of what that website is. And that's genuine. This is a genuine kind of a padlock sign. Obviously, you get the padlock sign, connection is secure. When you click on that, when you go into any website, it will show you if it's secure. And you can click on it and you can see that. So when you do go onto any website, check for those signs, check for the example domain, check for that sign on the example.com that I put, and check for the padlock. Okay. The other thing I would say is when you do use Wi-Fi or anybody else's internet, like hotel ones, for example, I know sometimes you have to use it. Don't, if you're trying to use a website that's not secure, it will say that this is an open website, or sorry, this is an open internet connection. Don't do any financial transactions or banking transactions if you're not at home, because that is an open website. You will have, sorry, open internet. Your own internet will have a lock on it, and only you would know the password and what have you. So when you're doing something like that, nobody else can get into it. But look for these kind of signs, okay? And so the browsers, like I said, are typically Chrome, Edge, Firefox, Safari, but each one will have a different padlock. I've only showed you a couple, but look on when you go into Google, look at the different. So if you're on Firefox, just look at what is the Firefox connection secured sign and have that and check it to make sure, oh, right, okay, makes sense. Is that okay? Does that all make sense to all of you? Yep. Any questions so far? I know there's quite a few messages. Let me just make sure that I'm not missing anything.
No,
What's
you're
going to make
not.
if your phone has banking stolen? It says if your phone has banking apps and is stolen, what should you do first? Contact your bank immediately to say that your banking apps, and yep, HTTPS absolutely, but not that on its own, Rohit. But it needs to have the two forward dashes, then you've got the HTTPS, then you've got the colon. I'm just trying to remember how I do it because I do it without even realizing half the time. But the HTTPS is secure. But the first thing you should do is contact your bank if that is the case. You've got any phone, any bank, any apps on there, contact your bank so that they know. Now, it depends on the kind of phone you have. You can disable them. If you've backed up it onto your laptop or somewhere and you've got apps on there, disable them. If at any point in time that you feel there's something not right with your banking app, then, oh my God, what's the word? Not disinstall it. Oh my God, delete it and reinstall. Okay. Reinstall that app. You won't lose anything, but what might happen is that app that might have been compromised, if you delete the app, wait for a few, I don't know, maybe half an hour or so, and reinstall the app, the banking app, if you can, if your phone is still with you. That way, when you reinstall it, any links that would have been to the previous banking app would not be there. Okay, right. Door-to-door scams. Now, this may not happen as much, but I do want to share it with you. I want to raise it with you. Common scams are fake charity collectors. I think you might have come across them. They'll knock on your door. I'm collecting for so and so and so and so. I'm, for whatever the case may be. I know we feel charitable. You think, oh, this is for the homeless, this is for the young, the disabled or the disadvantaged or wherever in whichever country. Unless you check their ID and don't just get them to show it, tell them to take it off, close the door and get it checked. Ring someone and get it checked. I know it's a bit of a job to do, but if you honestly don't believe them, then don't, because you're giving money away. Even if it's okay, you might just give £1 or something, but they're not going to want £1. They're going to want a lot more than that. So be careful of fake charity collectors. And that's even the people on the street. All right. When you're shopping on Oxford Street or shopping on, Ealing Broadway or wherever you're going, the charities don't just believe them. All right. They will have a pass and believe it. Sorry, check their ID. If you feel right, okay, these are the people that are on the street, so to speak. Rumit, you don't entertain door to door. That's absolutely great. That's what you should be doing. We're working in the area, roofing, driveways. All right, we're working in the area, and we noticed that your roof, all of that. If you're not having your roof done, right, and you don't want it done, don't just think, oh, I might have it done later. I'll just get them to check it. What they do is come into your house, check it all out, and next thing you know, you could be potentially burgled. So be careful. How do you disable your banking app from your laptop if your phone is stolen? Right.
Just delete the app.
Yeah. So yes, if it's on you delete the app on your laptop as well. Same thing. Just delete the app and don't install it until you've spoken to your bank. Okay. I hope that helps, Jasvinda. But yes, we're working on the area, roofing. Don't entertain it. Because if you want your driveway, your roofing done, you're going to find a proper recommended one, not one that's come off the street. Utility company imposters. I'll come to check your meter. I need to do a meter reading. Well, now most of the meter reading is done kind of online, or you get to send something, or they do. It depends on if you've got a water meter or whatever the case may be. Utility companies are a classic. We need to come in. Don't let anybody into your house. Right? Shut the door. Just say, I need to check it. Or just say, can I send it to you, please? Leave me the details. And what you can do is you read it yourself and you can send it. You can do this online or you can send it. Genuine ones will give you a card to fill in. If it is a genuine utility company, they'll give you a card, because if you don't want them to let them in, they'll give you a card and say, right, can you fill this in, please? And you fill it in and then you can send it. Fake officials, police, council. This is exactly what I've said. The one yesterday, the frightening thing was this was fake officials and police, and it wasn't bailiffs, but they were threatening to say, you were in this country legally. And if you don't pay these £1,200, now listen to me saying this, you will be arrested, you'll be in prison if you don't buy these gift cards for £1,200. Does that make sense? Why would you be arrested? On what grounds are you going to be arrested? And why would you use gift cards to make the payment? You'd have an official person come down, and it's from the immigration office, not from the police. So they were frightened. And so don't believe, no matter, uniforms are nothing these days. Check them out. Get the police, if you can see me, the police and any of these officials will have their number on the top. Get that number and then speak to the police station. It's genuine. They'll tell you exactly who that person was. Okay. And that's any military, any police, any of them will have on their shoulder, have a number, which is their number, unique to that individual. Safety steps, always ask the official for ID. I think I've told you that. And take it away. Don't wait at the door and look at it because you don't know what's going to happen. Just say, can I have your ID? I need to check it. Shut the door and then check it. Don't let strangers pressure you. I don't need to tell you that enough. And use your door chain or intercom. If you've got an intercom, great. If you haven't, use your door chain. Okay, don't just open the door to anybody. what can happen. And if you're unsure, like I think, is it Rumit said, he doesn't even entertain it. Don't open the door. Just don't open it. There's, you know, you don't want anybody in your house. Don't open it. There's no harm in you ignoring them. They'll walk away. Okay. Is there any questions? Scam post. Rohit Bhai, yes. Is there something I am going to talk about that, but happy for me to talk about that later. Is that okay? Yeah. I can talk about the postal scams, right? Parking payment scams. This is something I think we talked about. You get a fake text message. So let me talk about the fake text message first. You get a message to say you didn't pay your fine. You didn't pay your fine, sorry. You didn't pay your parking fee. Well, how do they know where you are? Right? How do they know that you haven't paid? The only time that you can get that, you don't get a message, you get obviously if you haven't paid, oh, you paid the wrong fee, you get a big notice, a PCN notice on your windscreen, right? You don't get text message to say you haven't paid, by the way. And even if it's online, you know, you get all these Ringo and all of these pay go pay or something. You have to pay up front anyway. It's not like you haven't paid. You have to pay before you park the car, so to speak. They are all fake. Text messages that say you haven't paid your parking fee are fake, all of them, right? Please don't believe it. And there's tampered card machines. What they do is they'll secretly tell you, they'll say, "Oh, right, you put your card in," and this used to happen a lot. I've forgotten what it was. It was called. I think it was called. No, it's got nothing to do with the country, but it was called the Russian roulette, the game. And what they used to do is this used to happen in ATMs in the banks. You put your card in, and what these people have done have put some reader in the back of the card. They've managed to get a reader in with another card. So your card goes in and it manages to read your card. And this is what with the tampered card machines, the same thing happens. You don't realize you put your card in, it doesn't accept it. So the card comes out. What that does is it tells a machine there that there's a card coming in. So something clicks at the back. Now I'm not techie, but when I was working in the bank, this was happening. So we all knew how it was working for the ATM machines. And this works the same way. So what happens, you put the card in again, because you say, hold on a minute, why is that? And that's when it reads your card and takes the details. So, you know, if your card gets kicked out, don't put it back in. Try and pay. I mean, these days you can pay online. Use that because you have to pay up front, or use the cash. Some machines use cash. Try not to use your card if you can help it. What's genuine? It includes your vehicle registration number. Like I said, you get a PCN notice, right? The time of the offense, so when you parked the car, whether it was wrong and you didn't pay, the location of where it happened. Text messages don't have any of that. The genuine ones have all of that. Okay. And genuine fines are always sent to you, to your address in writing. If you haven't got it on your windscreen, you'll get a letter to say, and you know, we all know they've taken a picture if it's a speeding fine, very similar. Okay. And that way it's always in writing. So just be careful of that. The 3 types of fines: penalty charge issued by the council. So if it's a penalty, the council will issue depending on which borough you're in. A fixed penalty notice issued by the police, such as speeding. So the police will give you that fine. And finally, a parking charge notice issued by the private company, whichever that company is that's looking after that car park. So fake text messages, you don't get text messages. They are always fake. Okay? Is everybody okay with that? Is there any questions on that? You can check your PCN online. Yep, absolutely. Thank you, Othel. You can. And then parking fines links attached to the text messages. So you might receive an email demanding a payment. Okay. The messages come with a link which are told to click on. Do not click on the link. I can't express this enough. Please do not click on any link demanding payment. They will use threatening language to make you panic, to say, if you don't make this payment, we're going to be coming around your house, or we're going to be doing this, or we're going to, whatever the case may be. Don't be taken in by that. Some of these links will take you to a fake government website that looks genuine. So I said, I think last week, when you look at a website, look at it closely. The website, there will be some spelling mistakes and errors, but the key thing is it will be blurred. It won't be as clear. And so I'm not techie, but the pixels on there, you'll know that it's blurred. It doesn't, and there's been a number of scams where they've gone onto this government websites. But when you do go onto the government website, you have to put in certain details before that you pass on. These fake ones just take you straight through. All right. So please just check that. Just look at it. Does it look blurred? And if it doesn't, if you think, oh, I don't know, and it might have been genuine, it doesn't know, they'll contact you again. Don't worry about if it is genuine, and you can speak to whoever genuinely. You can get onto the right website and say, is this correct? Do I owe any money? What have you? Immediately close and switch off your laptop. Do not click on anything. This is one thing I've said time and time again, especially when, well, it depends on how you get hacked, but if there's anything that you're not comfortable with, you're suspicious, switch off your laptop immediately. Switch it off. Don't start pressing the X buttons to come out of all the programs you're in. Just switch it off. And you can either, depending on a laptop, there'll be a button, or on your desktop, there'll be a button. Switch it off and keep it off for about half an hour to an hour. Because what people do is then they'll think, oh, you switch it straight back on. Don't. And please don't press restart. Switch it off. Absolute shutdown. Don't put restart, because all it does, it then comes back in straight away. And they'll still, whoever it is that's trying to get in may still be waiting. So complete power down. Okay. Change passwords and contact your bank. This is one of the things I say, that if there's anything, change passwords now. We have a password and we try to remember as many passwords as we can. Number one, don't use the same password for everything, please. Number one. Number two, don't use children's names. Don't use your date of birth. Don't use anybody's date of birth. Okay. And number three, change your passwords regularly. I know it's a bit of a pain, but I would say if you want to, change it monthly if you can, or at least change it every 2 months so that your password changes, and try not to use the same password again. All right. And I know this is difficult. And my husband does this in terms of when we change a password, they give you a generated one, which is a blooming long, numbers and letters and all these signs and what have you. And I'm thinking, I can't remember this. I need to write it down. But I will use something I know that only I know. And I will mix it all up and what have you. But only I know what that password is. But I would say, if you can and you remember, put something on your alarm or something that every 2 months, I'm going to change my password. Even if it's fine, just change it. Because what that does is it stops anybody being able to think, oh, yeah, somebody might have seen you type it in. You might have been at a coffee shop and then you might have seen you type in your password. Change it. If at any point in time you feel at risk, change your password, contact your bank. If it's anything to do with your banking online, if it's your, online app or what have you. Is that okay? Is there any questions on that before I move on? Well, how are we doing for time? Okay. We've still got, how many more?
15 minutes.
Okay, fine. Oh, that's good. That's good. Let me just go through what I've got left. Okay. Right. Digital age scams, modern threats to watch out for. I'm going to go on to the post one in a minute. How do they get emails address from? So Rohit Bhai, what was that? How do they get emails address? What do you mean? From where? While you're typing, I'll just carry on here. Deep fake audio scams. You all know what deep fake means.
How did they get your email address? You get so many scams, so many emails,
Oh, You know what, Roy? It's
Yes.
it's random.
Yeah.
They'll put anything in and just a shot, and all of a sudden one of them hits.
Okay.
Remember, these people are doing it 24/7,
Okay. Thank you.
right? And it's just, they've got a hit, which I don't say, obviously don't change your email address. All I say is change your password. That's the main thing. Do we all know what deepfake is? I think, was it Banna that mentioned about Rishi Sunak? This is the same with voices. You'll
Yes.
get someone that sounds like someone you know. It could be, like a voice of family member or a friend or anybody. And they'll say, "Oh, this is me," and they'll speak the language. If they're, they'll learn because they'll have so many different people speaking different languages, and it sounds as if it's like them. If you feel at any point in time that that doesn't feel right, put the phone down. Remember, this is an audio one, and ring the person you think it is, and say, "Did you just call me?" And if you know that obviously if they have, they'll call you back and they'll say, "Mom, Dad, brother, sister, what you doing? Why did you put the phone down on me?" But otherwise, I would ring them back and say, "Did you just ring me?" Right? Now you also get deep fake face, which we talked about Rishi Sunak. Look at the face, anything that's blurry on the edges and what have you. And also, when you're looking at it, look at the face versus the body and the movements. It doesn't, it won't make sense. The face will be moving and your body will still be there, kind of thing. Now, some of those are not as obvious, but this is a new modern thing. And I mean, it's happening to celebrities, right? It's happening to everybody. But we just have to be careful. It is becoming more and more worrying, but please be careful. QR codes. Do you all know what QR codes are? Yeah, fine. Don't click on any QR code. It says, "Oh, click on this QR code to get these details." Please don't just click on it, because QR code is an option. You can still get the details via other ways, right? Via the email, via the phone, you might go into their website. Don't just click on a QR code if you think, "Oh, right, okay, I'll just click on this QR code." Someone tells you to do it, don't do it unless someone comes up and says, "Right, this is something that I'm using." Get them to use the QR code. If someone is there in person, and there's a few times that I've someone says, "Oh, if you put this Q card, it will take you to that." And I said, "Oh, why don't you try it first and then I'll try it." And then they won't. I said, "Well, if you try it, then I'll know how it works. And if it's genuine, they'll try it. If it's not, they won't even click on the QR code because the details are there. They'll know, they'll get caught out."
I
Social
think
media impersonation,
I,
right? They'll
I
claim, sorry, go on, go on.
sorry, I was saying I think majority of the restaurants now use QR code. Even Harrow Leisure Centre uses that.
I know, I know, I would, when you go to a restaurant as well, and you get a QR code on your table and say, "Click this QR code and order the meal." Sometimes you get that. My husband, sometimes we do it. Most of the time I say, "No, can we just go and order over there, please? Can I have a menu? I don't want to do it on there. I want a person coming to me." Now that's me being me, right? I'm just pernickety, and my husband gets annoyed with me, but because some of those are genuine. But if I go into a restaurant, I'm thinking, if you go into a fairly posh restaurant or a restaurant that you've been there all the time and you know them, and they say, "We've introduced the QR codes," fine. If you're going into a new restaurant, you've not been there before, I wouldn't use the QR code.
Okay. So
Right?
I also read somewhere, this was last week actually, that do not, the traveling dockets you have, your tickets, and it has all your information in that little codes as well.
Yeah.
And we should not destroy it anywhere, but bring it home and burn it or whatever. But do
Well,
it
that
at home.
absolutely. So your luggage tags and what have you,
Yes.
right? You put them in the bin, probably not a problem. Boarding passes, I
Mm.
shred them. Okay, boarding passes or anything like that. And I try not to, I shred everything. If I think it's got my name on it
Yeah.
or it's got my husband's name on it or what have you, I shred it. I don't even throw it in the bin. Burn it if you want to burn it, that's fine. But I shred it. Um, And I just don't take risks. I don't put it in any bin. I don't even throw a receipt away. If I have a receipt and we need to keep it, then obviously we keep it. If it's a receipt we're just going to throw away, we checked everything, I shred it. I don't even though that doesn't have any of details on it, doesn't have your bank account details on it, it only has the last 4 digits of your card, but you can't get anything from the last 4 digits of your card. But I will still shred it. I never put it in the recycling bin ever.
But
Okay, so
these
don't be,
scammers, these
yeah,
scammers, they know how to get your details from anything,
absolutely.
anything.
Absolutely. And you want to, and the thing is, we need to try and make it difficult for them,
Exactly.
right? Social media impersonation. This is where they will come on Instagram, they'll come on Facebook and claim to know everything about you and what have you. And this is why I say everybody uses Facebook. I don't. I've got a very basic one where I don't give anybody access to it. I don't do anything. I don't post anything on there. Be careful, because people get your information out of it. Things like, people do it. Don't get me wrong. You're on holiday. Great. You're sending pictures. Anybody wants to get to it, they'll look at it and think, oh, they're away, and if they want to find your details. So just be careful. I'm not trying to frighten you. I'm just extra careful, because that's the way I am always. Security is a big thing. And when you've come from that, and my background is compliance and also financial crime and fraud, I'm always constantly on the ball with these kind of things. But social media, be careful how you post and what you post. And fake delivery notification. Now, this is something I think, Rohit, you were talking about the post as well. 2 different things. Now, I don't know if any of you have received a message on it's either just a text message or a WhatsApp message. How they get hold of your WhatsApp, I don't know, but they'll say, oh, your parcel is waiting at such and such. Can you please click on this so that you can tell us when to deliver it? Please don't click on those links. Okay. They don't, Royal Mail for a start, if they're going to deliver, they'll put a card through, or you get an email to say, we are delivering this on this date. You can give us the details where you want it delivered. But you don't, the notifications is, this is waiting for you. This card is waiting for you to be collected. This parcel is waiting. Don't click on it. Go there if you have to. If it says this is, post office, go to the post office or go to wherever and say, there's a parcel waiting for me. Don't click on the link. I know it's a bit of an issue. You've got to go out and get it. I'd rather do that than click on the link. Now, the post one, the other thing is about, I'm thinking, is that the same one I was talking about? Atul, are you on the line?
Yes.
Can the post one that you talked to me about? That was different from these fake delivery notifications. Is that what was the one?
That is to do with parcels. No, somebody's selling something, and not selling. They're gifting something, but they're asking them to just pay for the delivery of that product, so that they can get it for free. Now, it is quite a complex thing. There are some good examples which you can use some other time. I'll explain to you later. But what happens if somebody says, look, you can have it for free. All you have to do is pay for the postage or the couriers or whatever it is. It tends to be far away. You get tempted to say, yes, I'm getting it for free. So I'll pay £25, £100, whatever the delivery charge is, and you never get the goods. It's all fake. So don't fall for that.
Yeah. And
Yes.
the one that was on was about a lady, about a piano. They knew that this lady wanted this piano. And what they did is, someone has passed away, and they've left this piano as a, inheritance for you as part of their estate. And so the lady, who was a pianist, thought, oh, wow. She didn't ask her, well, how would this person even know that, but they did their research and knew that this lady was a pianist. And it was like, pay this money and you will get for the delivery. And because it's normally far away, there's a lot of money you have to pay. When I say a lot of money, you're talking hundreds rather than, 20s or 30s, like in the hundreds. And the lady obviously didn't get the piano. It was a fake. But this is the kind of thing you get. You've got a gift or someone is sending you this, send us the money for the delivery. And that's it. That's how they do it. And sometimes it's abroad. So they're asking for thousands of pounds. You know, it's it's got to come from Amsterdam, it's got to come from India, it's got to come from, you know, US or something. And they'll take your details, take the money, no such thing.
Yeah, it
Okay.
happens. It has happened quite a lot with mobiles. We're giving away mobiles, free
Yeah.
mobiles. All you got to do is pay for the postage. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So thank you for that, Atul. What we'll do is when I come to the thing, I'll give you some good examples as well when I'm there next week for the lunch. Right. This I put session 2, and this is what we should have done. This is protection, help and support, and the golden rule. So let me go through. I don't know how much time we've got, but we'll go through this as much as we can. If we have to do another week, we'll do that. More than happy to.
Should we continue that next week? Let's take
What time is it now?
questions. It's
Oh,
15
yeah.
minutes.
I'm
Yeah.
happy to do this next week because for
Yes.
me, I don't want to rush it.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that you all understand. And that's why I want you to ask me the questions, anything. And don't think any question is silly. No question is silly or stupid. Every question is important. So, yeah, I'm happy to stop here. I would rather you all be comfortable in thinking, right, I've asked the right questions, I know everything, than me rush it and you don't know. I'm more than happy to do it again next week. I don't want to I really get annoyed about people getting scammed, and as you can see, I do a lot of research around it to make sure what's the new things. Contacts and emails for reporting phishing. Yes, I can talk about phishing through the cows. Come home, Rohit bye. I do that in my day job, telling exactly what people need to do. But yes,
But can I ask anybody who wants to have a burning question for us? Please raise your hand.
Mayuri, yeah.
Yes, yes. I had on my mobile phone, I had announcement that they're calling from recruitment company, and I should press some number. So I did not do anything. I just blocked their number.
Good, good. Well done, Mary. And this is something I would tell everybody. If it's something you're getting a phone call from, block it. Now, I don't know about some of you. I know when I get a phone call, especially if it's from something, my phone, my mobile, it says potential fraud or potential scam. It comes up on my phone while the phone's ringing. So I don't even bother answering, especially if
have
it's
that as
international.
well.
Yeah. So I don't bother answering because, and it might be genuine, but it doesn't matter. I won't answer it. So
Yeah.
yes, the fact that that is the case, good. The fact that you block it, it doesn't matter. If they want to get a hold of you, they'll find you. So well done, Mary. Well done for doing
Because
that.
I said, how come all of a sudden, I haven't spoken with anybody. I'm not looking for a job in recruitment company. It's like automatic, nobody's speaking there. It's just an announcement.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
And this is an automated. This is another thing. You might get some automated messages, right? As the phone's ring, and then all of a sudden, as you answer it, there's an automated message that says you have won, or this is please contact, or you've been selected for this, or you've had an accident. Switch off. Just put the phone down. Okay, just put the phone down. Those are the ones that they'll keep you on the phone and try and access your details. So
Yeah.
don't know. So thank you, Marie.
I have Truecaller on my phone, and even if my son is trying to copy a photo of my grandson from it, it stops him, and it prompts me saying somebody. Oh, it gives me the name as well, by the way. That so
Oh.
and so is trying to get the photograph of this and this.
Oh
And
wow.
it really stops. So everybody, I do advise Truecaller to have it on your phone, and it does help. It stops all the the scammer callers as well. It stops the with what you call it unknown numbers.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Unsolicited numbers. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
What
good.
is it called? How do you spell it?
Truecaller.
True, true,
Yeah, CALLER.
true caller. Okay,
True
fine.
caller.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's an app, yeah?
Yeah,
Okay,
it's an app.
fine. Yeah, thank you.
Anybody else who would like to question Raz? No?
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'll give you a question
Oh,
then.
okay.
So, banking and security, in banking and security, what should we never share with anybody, no matter how convincing they sound?
A number of things. Not your bank details, not your card details. So your bank account is your bank account number, 8 digits, and your 6-digit sort code. Never share that. Never share the 16-digit code on 16-digit number on your credit card, which is at the back. Never ever share your CVC. Do you all know what a CVC code is? It's that 3 numbers at the back of your
At
card.
the back of your card.
Never share that ever, right? Because that gives them access. Because once you've got that, that's that. Because you know when you have second verification, two-step verification. Once you've given that, then that's it.
Yeah.
Your name and your name is not something, because there could be so many loads of people, and your PIN. Name, I'm not really that concerned about. Your PIN, your sort code, your account number, the 16-digit number on the back of your card, and your CVC. Don't ever give any of those details whatsoever. Never obviously give your password. And if by accident you happen to have said something, change your password immediately. Even if you think, oh, did I do that? If you think you've done it, then just change your password.
Yeah, I
Okay.
tend to do it every time I'm with Apple and we're on a long
Cool.
conversation with Apple. And then after I've done my job with them, I change my password because
Yeah.
they've been on my laptop for a very long time. And
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. We do the same. When my laptop, something happens to it, my husband gets involved to help me and what have you. They've been on the phone for hours trying to sort it out. We do everything, and then, I get it on, and then I change the password. It's just something, they're genuine. Don't get me wrong, they're
Yeah.
genuine, but you've
Yeah.
still got that niggling feeling that you don't know if that individual in that
Absolutely.
company is genuine. So yes, I would say change your passwords regularly, and even your phone.
Yeah.
If you've got a 6-digit or a 4-digit number, change that every month. Don't just keep that same number all the time. I change mine probably. I go back and forth, and I'll use different numbers or sometimes same number and go back, but I still change it. And the other thing is, you've got your now you can do biotech, your thumb and your eyes.
Yeah.
Now, if they're really techie, these people are really techie, your thumb is something that, they might be able to do something, but that's still the safer way than to put a number in.
Yeah.
If you can do your eyes, it's much better, right? Where you have to unlock your phone via eye. Laptops are bringing that out. I heard it somewhere that you now, in order to do, I don't know where, because it must be a camera on your laptop, obviously, and it's all by your, it's Iri something. It's called Iri something, iridology or something. It's not iridology, but it says something, and it scans your eye, and
Yeah,
that's
it
the
does.
most safest way.
Exactly. But when you say change your phone number, it's not convenient for a long time patients.
No, not your phone number. Your number
PIN
to get into
number.
your phone. PIN
Yeah,
number.
yeah,
Sorry,
your
PIN
PIN
number.
number.
Yeah,
Your
not your phone
PIN.
number. No.
So your verification number,
Yeah.
two verifications
Yeah.
you have to
Yeah.
get in to change that.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
very easy on iPhone. I can advise anybody. Yes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that
that's
is
fine,
it.
and I can show you on the Samsung. But use your thumb or
Yeah.
use any finger.
Yeah.
And you know what? The other thing, I know this sounds silly, but use your thumb, and then another. When you change it, use another finger. So it's not your thumb that's all the time. Use biotech, and then say, right, I want to redo my reset my biotech identification, and use a different finger.
Exactly.
So it's all these things that we can stop. I mean, I'm forever trying to do things to stop people. And every time that like my husband goes like, you're getting stressed, leave the room. Because every time I see this person being scammed, and I was like, oh my God, I wish I could go there and strangle them. Why they're doing this to these innocent people. And he said, let's just leave the room. You're getting stressed. And I get so worked up because it's innocent people. And these scammers don't care at all.
No,
They don't care.
They don't.
So
Sorry. So,
No.
are there any new fraud prevention tools or features that banks now provide, which people often overlook?
There's nothing. No, there isn't at the moment. I know. I don't. I know one of the banks. It's a global bank that's bringing out this new thing. It's a new tech thing. It's being piloted at the moment. It's not on the open market, but I think they're piloting to make sure it works. But it's very similar to, you know, like you don't have to carry a card, you can do it on your phone.
Yeah.
And you can pay on your phone, and you've got to switch off that NFC thing. It's very similar to that they're trying to do. But you know, my worry, I don't know if you heard in the news recently that, you know, when you tap at the moment, there's a limit of £100.
Yeah.
Or if you tap and you've gone over the £300, it'll ask you to put your PIN number in.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you try to use a tap again, even though it's still below £100, but you might have used that tap 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
If it goes above the £300 limit overall, or £500 in some cases, you have to put your PIN in. You have to put your card in, put your PIN in.
Yeah.
They're going to put that. They're not going to cap it. That's unlimited now, and they're bringing that out. Some banks are going ahead with it in end of October, mid-November, I think. Some banks are still trialing it. I've got grave concerns about that because anybody could get hold of my card and tap it. You know, but the banks are trying to say that it's easier for the clients, and it is, but you know, I don't know. I'm in two minds about that. But if the banking, the regulations are saying that they can do it, then they will do it. But yeah, they're going to take away that cap of £100 per tap.
Atul has just written a message saying, ask the companies if they enter information directly on payments app, or do they write it down?
Which lets you type in your card details, and the person on the other end can't see it. Okay, all right, okay. That's wasn't something. Well, there's something that I've learned as well. Most companies have automated system which lets you type in your card details and the person on the other. Yeah, that's right. Sorry, you're right. Right, Atul. There's something, I think. Yeah, you're right. I think Bupa do that, funnily enough, where they say you can't. You know, they don't know what you're typing, and you have to type it in on your car, on your phone, and they can't see it until you've done it. Yep. Okay.
So just my last one now before we close.
Okay.
So do you think scam prevention should be taught more formally, like in schools or workplaces?
Absolutely. I do this. So I train, would you believe I do this as like I said, as a 2-day course to global banks around the world. I train this. This is how important it is. I absolutely think it should go into schools. I think they should be, because kids are, you know, on one perspective, they are innocent. On the other perspective, they're very good at understanding technology, and then they get better in terms of they start looking at how to scam. So you got to be careful. It's like I was asked to go out to, I'm not going to mention the country, but I was asked to go out to a country to teach anti-money laundering, which is a subject, and I refused to go because certain countries have, you know, if I was to teach them what to look out for, they will look at that and think, how can I overcome it? They'll find a loophole. So I refused to go to a couple of countries I was asked to go to talk about it, because I said no, because all I'm doing is giving them more ammunition to see how they can overcome it and find the loophole. So, you know, it all depends. It's you've got to just be careful. But I will stand my ground if I think I won't do it, because if I'm helping someone to do more fraud and that, absolutely not. But this is it. I absolutely agree that this should go into to schools. It's not a subject. If someone can go in and start training them, or even community centers go in and start talking about this. How can they do it? Because the other thing is, when you think about the mentally ill, the disabled, they get scammed. They don't know any of this, and then, how can you explain it to them what they should be doing? So yeah, it's such a big thing. To stop. Scammers are getting smarter and smarter, but hopefully more and more people are able to say, don't do this and don't do that, and you know.
Yeah, true. So, thank you so much, Raz, for such an eye-opening and practical session. We have
Thank
learned
you.
quite a lot. You've
Thank
given
you.
us not only awareness of the different types of scams, but also the confidence to spot the red flags and protect ourselves and our loved ones.
Yeah.
The real life example is the tips and strategies you shared will surely stay with us. And on behalf of GAA London, I'd like to express our heartfelt
Oh, thank you.
gratitude to you for sharing your time and wisdom with our community today. A
Thank you.
big thank you to also to all our participants for joining in, engaging, and asking such thoughtful questions. It is through awareness and community support that we can truly stay safe and stay stronger. So please remember to share what you've learned with families and friends, because sometimes one timely pieces of advice can save someone from a lifetime of loss and stress. So we will continue bringing one more session under our well-being and community care series. Keep an eye out for our upcoming announcements. So again, next week, Raz will be there and to continue our session 2.
Yeah, we won't have that many on the because I've been going through them, but this will be kind of just guidance on what you should and the golden rules. And what I will do is share the golden rules so that you can keep them. All of you can, you know, we can whatever the case may be, just that keep them so that you think, and it's there for you to say, I mustn't do this, I mustn't do that, I must do this. With all the phone numbers and the details of who to contact should anything happen.
Okay.
I'll
Thank
provide all
you.
of that.
Thank you, everyone, and have a wonderful evening and stay
Thank you,
safe.
you too. And thank you.
Thank
Thank you for
all.
asking
Good
me to
night.
come and share the knowledge. Thank you.
Thank you.
Shubhratri. Good night, everybody,
Thank
and
you.
stay
Bye-bye.
safe.